a, I guess, week-long hiatus. Well, we had March break. Thank you for bearing with me. And we're going to dive right in tonight because there is lots to cover on this week. We're going to talk about binding. We're going to put our zippers on, and we're going to make and attach our handles. And then next week, we're going to attach our end pieces and then do the binding on the inside. Today may be a little bit long. We're looking at probably closer to 45 minutes or an hour. If I skip over anything that you're like, no, I really need you to show me how to do this, everybody just let me know. I'm going to make sure I'm looking at live chat. We have one person with us so far. Hopefully some more will join. And you may notice that I have changed what I am sewing because the thing that I put together, and I was very behind, was hideous. The fuggliest thing that you have ever seen. And I did not have time to rip apart all of my squares yesterday and remake it. So I got some whole cloth and I put together a new one that is much prettier. And this is our end pocket. So you can see here, I did a different fabric because I wanted to. We've got our binding. So we're going to do this. This binding is the same method on both the pockets and on the zippers. So I'm going to put that aside for now. So you're going to take your binding strip, whatever the length is in the booklet. It's different for the two of them. You're going to fold it in half. You compress it. And then we're going to attach it. I'm going to move the camera here so we can see what I am doing. Okay, so there's my bugs are right. Oh no, what did I do? I keep pushing a button that does stuff. Wrong side up. We're going to attach raw edge to raw edge. And we are sewing with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. At this point, I have my 1/4 inch foot on my machine because it is helping me get that consistent 1/4 inch seam allowance. So over here we go. My pedal is like way far away. Oh, this just moved because of course it did. Okay. And here we go. Don't forget to backstitch. Say hello. Let me know where you are with the progress on your own duffel bags. If you've gotten all of the piecing and quilting done, or if you're also rethinking your life choices like I was. And then we're going to turn this. Oh, I did it again. I keep pushing a button. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing. Just generally, I don't know what I'm doing. I like to use my iron to iron this up first before we turn it over and then iron it down. And I'm very happy to report that my little Oliso did not suffer damage in its fall from the shelf that fell on me. Which is a good thing. And I will absolutely, I will pick my squares apart, seam rip them. I just didn't have the time to do it. And then you're all quilted up, made a 1/4 inch ledge masking tape in lieu of foot, and it definitely improved the piecing. Excellent. Do you not have access to a 1/4 inch foot, Em? They really do help. Yes. Okay. You need one. Okay. And then we're going to sew here. I think the book says, to sew with like 1/8 of an inch And what I found is if I 1/4 inch mark, that's 1/8 of an inch. So is good for me. I've seen people use Lego pieces before as like a seam guide. I guess because it's like bulky and it stops you from sewing over it. The only thing I dislike about this little Oliso is it's great for travel. It's super good for little things. It's not heavy, and I really like a heavy iron to be able to squish all of my fabric into submission. Oh, there's lots of people watching tonight. That's fun. So I lost my garbage can. This is what your piece ends up looking like, your bound edge. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop our scissors on the floor. We're going to baste it on top of that end piece. So you end up with a piece that looks like this. I am not going to do that right now, just to help us save some time. There's on the last page of the booklet, there is and both of them are the same, a 2.5 inch circle. I traced mine. It's the same method as the sandhill sling. You're going to line it up with the top and the side and then just trim that corner off to round out the corners. So that is that. You will not need these pieces until next week, but that's what we're doing with those. We're going to move on to the zipper tabs and the handle, because we have to make the handle. I keep pushing the assistant button on my phone by accident, and I'm very sorry. So this is the covering for the strapping. You could absolutely, if you really wanted to, just put on this strapping, but it's ugly, and it's nice to have this. This is 3 pieces of 3 3¾ inch wide fabric by width of fabric seamed together. I've already done that, and I've sewn at 1/4 inch along the edge. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to turn it. And I thought I would do this to show everybody how to use the loop turner. So, because this is massively huge. So you stick it into, in there. There's a tab on here. So you keep your tail a little bit long, and first you wrap the tail around the tab. I like to do it 3 times, so it ends up looking like that. And then you stick this inside, and you have to fold your fabric back in on itself so that it starts the tube. And then you just push this through, moving the fabric down as you go. So it fully loses the tube turner. And sometimes my tail breaks if I'm too aggressive. Sometimes it works okay. But what this is doing is threading that end back out to the other end. So it's going to come out through like this, if that makes sense. And you cannot insert the strapping at the same time as you're turning this around. It just doesn't work. I contemplated you could probably turn your edge and like encase the strapping if you didn't want to make a tube, because making a tube is sort of a pain in the butt. You can see it's like I'm pushing this through and it's very long. But this is so much faster than like the safety pin method. I'm almost out. But you would end up seeing that seam on the handles, which is why I think they have you do it in this method. And see, ta-da! And then I can take this off. I'm done with this. So they come in like a thick one and a thin one, and they're very, very useful. Oh, no, I'm not done with it. Oh, no, I am done with it. I tried to use it to insert the strapping on the previous version. And yeah, I'm just like finishing pulling this out, and it's all like scrunched here. But that's it. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take, this is actually probably a good idea to iron this with the seam in the back. This is where a heavy iron would come in handy, because I did it again. The phone is too sensitive. Actually, no, and I don't need to iron this because I found out last time you need to iron once you get the strapping in. So I'm going to attach a safety pin because that seemed to be the best method. And we're going to now thread this through. And this part was tricky because it requires that you pull all of this long tube down this other long tube. And I found that at some points I was really having to like yank. And I'm going to suggest we'll probably skip over doing the zipper tabs this week. We'll do them next week because they're a small enough piece that we don't need to do them this week. And this really does take a long time. So and you can kind of gauge your process because you have two vertical seams from where you had to piece things together. This took, yeah. Help me by talking to me, because me having to like do this and sort of make up chatter as I go is difficult. Emily, I have to say I am envious of the method in which you and Caitlin do knit-alongs, because you get each other. And you can see this is turning like this. The seam here is turning a little bit. I'm not going to stress about it at all. It's not worth it. Oh, and I just lost my safety pin. Okay, this is going to be tricky. You guys always get the best of me. You get me having to like figure out on the fly. So the safety pin has come off. I'm trying to reattach it to just the strapping without making it come through all the way here and not poking myself, because that's a very important part. Okay, maybe success. And like, I don't think, there's like hemostats I don't think that would work because I don't know if I can like reclose this without catching a bunch of fabric in it. Like the tube is just so long, which is again why I could see, you know, a method of not having to make a tube, or like if you can find pretty like nice looking webbing, then you don't have to make this fabric colored webbing. I didn't catch what you said, there. If it makes you feel any better, this definitely makes me feel better about your own. Yeah, I've heard that from other folks that, you know, watching me struggle through things has helped them feel more secure about struggling through things. So I'll take it. I'll take it as a sign. Yeah, this is so the bad part about this is that I possibly have to pull this all out again and start over. And I think that is, there's not much here. That is what is going to have to happen because you can see this just came right out. And this is the most secure thing I could think of. And have used, and it is not happy with what I am doing right now. Okay. We're going to try this one more time with feeling. I would definitely go for nice looking webbing on future versions. I think that's where I'm going with this. That's my opinion of this step. And unfortunately, we can't get 1.5 inch webbing in the store in like colors anymore. The supplier just doesn't have it. So if anybody knows a supplier that has 1.5 inch cotton webbing, let us know. So yes, now that we're all going to be pros at making quilted bags, what other kind of projects could we use these skills in? So I was thinking about this today. The method of quilt, like you could make a quilt, most definitely. It's the same method. It would be really easy to adapt these skills to making a quilted coat. And there's a really good blog on Susie Quilts about turning your favorite coat pattern into a quilted coat. There's quite a few people. It's been very trendy. If you want patterns that have like just instructions on how to make a quilted coat, the Tamarack jacket is a great one. Otherwise, I know people have done a quilted Ilford. I think Annie is working on a quilted Ilford right now, or has plans for a quilted Ilford. There's the Nova jacket by Paper Cut people have used. So there's quite a bit out there. You could definitely, you know, keep working on, like, if a big, large quilt is not your jam, doing a placemats. I've made a cat mat for my cat's food out of cat fabric because she deserves nice things too. Oh, and yeah, once I get to a point like I've done this much so far, I'm gonna pull in smaller sections because from like here, and then pull it down because it's difficult. I'm past the first joint, so we're like a third of the way done. I don't know how you do this if you had nails. Like I have very short nails, and I don't know if you had like long nails, you could not do this. It would not be possible. I also think, you know, it's really easy to like play around with, now that you like, once you get comfortable with quilting, you can definitely play around with quilting other fabrics, and it doesn't have to be something that's necessarily backed with batting. I know I quilted the back and the side of a Sandhill sling, and I quilted the oilskin, and it quilts very, very nicely. So there is that you can do as well. And it's the same, the same method. I used a denim needle instead of the quilting needle, because I was using oilskin, but I lengthened my stitch, I marked everything out, and then quilted that. So it gave it a nice quilted look. And you could definitely adapt your favorite bag pattern to do the same thing. I told you this takes a really long time. This is what we're in for tonight, watching me make webbing. After this, it's not super bad. And I'm going to do it's just the zipper after this. Oh, we do have to top stitch this. I think I got to change the machine, my foot on my machine, but that's okay. That's easy enough to do. And we have to lop off. I think the larger pattern, you do the zipper tabs separate, and with the smaller pattern, you just lop off an 8-inch piece to make the zipper tabs. So that's what I'm going to do. I found the strap on the larger one a little bit long, and I wished it was adjustable. So that's the method that they have you attach it, means that you can't make an adjustable strap, but you can't have everything. And you could really easily, I thought it would be cool if you wanted to, you could put D-rings on the zipper tabs and then make like a crossbody strap. But yeah, there we go. Oh, we're getting there. And I still have to iron it. So this one is a labor of love, and I would say don't make this for just anybody. Definitely only for the people you really like in your life. Yourself. Oh. My kid keeps asking me everything I make. They're like, can I have that? And I'm like, no, I like learn how to sew and do your own stuff. I don't know. I guess thank you, Emily, for engaging me in conversation as you can. Totally unrelated question. For the bias binding, they call for a specific size of square. Can we use a larger square? Yeah, yes, and we'll just yes, because we're gonna use their method to cut a continuous bias binding. So my secret is that I haven't actually bound the shop sample yet, and I haven't sewn it or looked at it, and I need to do that early this week so that I can know what I'm doing for next week. So yes, you could use a larger square. You're just going to end up with more binding. Oh, we're 2/3 of the way here. Okay, excellent. I'm past the next join. Yes, please read ahead. And, patterns call for you to do certain things. Like that step to make the binding is early on. And for me, I find that I have so much going on in my office space that if I make the bias binding, I'm liable to lose it. Even if I have all of my project pieces, together in like a pouch, something's going to happen. It often does. So that's why it's easier for me to just keep the piece of fabric, and I cut before I do a step. And also I have to not do it ahead of, because I need to show everybody how to do it, but that is also why, that's why we're not doing, like, we don't need to make it this week and then not use it for a week. So we'll just make it next week. No, my question to the three folks that are watching, we do have, you know, we're trying to be good about planning stuff. We have the ranunculus knit along coming up for the knitters. We've got an unannounced, I will announce it right now. We're going to be doing the Ferris fanny pack sew along in May. We've got a couple other knit alongs, another quilting project in the spring. We're going to be redoing the in the summer, actually, sorry, Christmas in July. We're going to be doing the snowflake quilt out of the that designer Create Joy project. Out of that fabric, they're re-releasing the Christmas fabric, so redoing that, because that's lost in the depths of Facebook somewhere, and it's better to have stuff up on YouTube. But what sew-alongs do you want to see next? What do you want help making? Do you have a specific project? Is it a kind of project? Is it, you know, a thing that you're like, yeah, I really would like to learn how to sew with, you know, XYZ? Let me know so we can take it into consideration. And if we have the, you know, it's a matter of having someone who can do the sew along with the skills that to do it. Yeah, if that's something that you'd like to see. So I'm so close to the end. Look, I'm so close to the end. Getting excited now. Almost done. It's only been like 15 minutes of me doing this. It's not so bad. We haven't done a garment because we didn't really have some like good uptake on garments. But like if we did a garment, what garment would you want to see? Something basic? Like how to make a shirt? Like a throw-on shirt? Would you want, you know, something more complicated like a collared shirt? And there's so many, I feel like I am not the person to teach that class. Catherine, the owner or class sew along, really is the like ultimate knowledge in collared shirt making. She has made many shirts, and there are like so many methods of doing stuff. Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. I can feel the pin. I'm so close. Dun, 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 dun. Yay! Look, yay! Okay. And I take my little iron and we make it all nice. And I'm going to just put a couple of clips to keep it from moving around. But yes, we need to now top stitch this into place. That is the next thing. And you can see by ironing it, like it's kind of wrinkly here, and by ironing it, I am making it nice and smooth. So. Oh my goodness. It is so long. There really has to be like a better way of doing this than this method. Like I can't see this being the most economical use of time. Time is money. Time for making more things. Go. This is not nearly as exciting. It is going to be a very good looking strap. I am excited to see it come to its, you know, full potential of strapdom. Yes, this week is not nearly as exciting as when the shelf fell on me. Alas. Still a little bitter about that. It's really bad too, because people will come into the store and I'll be working and they'll be like, oh, I'm doing this sew along with you. And I'm like, oh, great. Did you see the shelf fall on me? They're like, you did very well. Just kept going. I'm like, yeah, but... So the tube is longer than my strapping, and that's fine. We do need to like tuck it in by 1/2 inch when we're top stitching so that we enclose all of the ends. So I'm going to do... What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure an 8-inch piece because I got to cut off an 8-inch piece for my tabs. I'm going to go over to my table and do it. I'm going to disappear for a second. It's just easier, and then I can use my rotary cutter. There we go. I'm still here, I promise. As she said from the other side. And I'm not going to do anything. So I've got this 8-inch piece now. I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm going to put it to the side. What I am going to do is take this and tuck it in by 1/2 inch all the way around. And it's, sorry, 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. Let me see what it says. Tuck raw edges into each full end to fully enclose. 1/2 inch. Oh, cut excess tube from 1/2 inch and tuck in. So, where's my scissors gone? My scissors are back here. I'm eyeballing this. That's probably not quite 1/2 inch. That's about 1/2 inch. You can't see the look of concentration on my face as I do this. There we go. It's not as neat as I would like it to be. So it's going to look like that. I'm just going to put a clip to hold it into place. And then we need to sew all the way around, top stitching. Does it say... I'm going to say top stitch at 1/4 inch. That seems to work well. So, and then I just have to do the other side here. So there's my... There's like a bend in the handle here, so I'm going to just... And then cut away 1/2 inch, which is roughly that, and then tuck this in. Worked better the second time. There. See? Much nicer, much neater. And just a little iron. Okay, and we're going to do this part quickly. I do need to do this part. I can't skip over it right now and then just do it later. So I'm going to bring everybody over here. I'm not going to push my button. I'm going to pray that I have enough thread, and I'm going to top stitch at a 1/4 inch. I'm going to lengthen my stitch a little bit on this. I find going through the polypropylene webbing, it wants a slightly longer stitch. And again, this 1/4 inch foot is good because I'm kind of not being super careful about how I'm feeding this in. And the 1/4 inch foot is really not letting me go past it at all. So checking my bobbin. So you know, I'm not looking at comments, and I am not paying attention to how I'm visually sewing. So if you need me to change something, please, I hope you're not like screaming at your camera. And yes, I'm going very fast. That's looking really nice. For those that don't know, when you pivot, keep your needle, I got a fluffy there, keep your needle in the down position. Okay, so needle in the down position, lift your presser foot, pivot. Oh, I've gone too far. If you've gone too far, what you can do is just backstitch. There we go. And then keep going. Halfway there. I'm sewing with air. A lot of air. Oh, God damn it. The reason that you can't skip this is that you use the top stitching as a guide for attaching the handle to the bag. So and it also helps to reinforce everything. I've got to wind this collar. And I don't have a lot of thread. Why do I keep putting myself into this position? I don't know. Let me see how much I can do from this. Well, it's a good thing I have to go to Fabrications tomorrow, and I will pick up some more thread, and I really hope we're not sold out of this thread color. Okay, and I just have to find where I stopped sewing. That's just a random piece. I'm going to throw that over there. Nope, this is all done on that side. Back here. Here we go. One more time with feeling. Yes, from there. We're almost there, folks, I promise. You can see, I'll show you in a second, I've got some puckers, and if I had a heavier iron than the little Aliso, they wouldn't be an issue. I will most likely give this a good iron with my big heavy iron after the fact. Okay. So you can see there's some puckers in there, and the iron will help take that away. So what we do now is we find the place where that other thread was. We clip this all up. Bring everybody back over here. Don't push the buttons. And, I pushed the button. I don't need my clips. We take our body piece. There are instructions on how to mark it. You need to mark the center, and then you need to mark lines from the top and down. I'm not going to mention the dimensions because I don't want to give anything away, as this is a paid pattern. Move this stuff out of the way. And what you're going to do on one side, I have to look at the pattern. So there's my center marking. And we line it up, align the strap along the inside of the second marking. Okay, so you align your strap to the center, which is here, and along here. So there's my center mark, and I'm going to move my iron for a second because I want a flat. It's hitting the edge of this, and it's not sitting flatly, and I don't think I'm true to what I need it to be. Oh, and that was really hot. Did not just burn myself. Totally just burned myself. Always fun when Katie is sewing. There, it's flat. Okay, so aligning my strap to the center marking here. I'm going to just, now you could use some glue. You could use, there's a really good like fabric glue that we have, a Bowen product. That's a temporary adhesive. You could use, there's another like fine line one. You could use Wonder Tape. I could iron this into place. I'm not going to right now. I find that it's not totally necessary. So there's two marks. One is 5 and something odd inches down, and one is 4 some odd inches down, because that's where you're going to make your box when you're sewing. So what we do here, so this is one edge of my strap. This becomes our handle. And you can see we then, oh, sorry, I made a very terrible mistake. I did one thing wrong. You need to find the center of your strapping piece. And don't twist it. Make sure you don't twist it. This piece butts up against here like this. But you need to find the center because it has to come to the other side. So I can't just slap that down and call it a day. And did I twist this? Please don't tell me I twisted this. How did I twist this? There's my center. So I'm just going to mark that with a pin. You could use less pokey methods like chalk. So this becomes my strap. That center part that I just marked is going to be the center here. So lining up again. I like this little bag. And I don't have a ruler handy, but I do have the zipper, and the zipper is very straight. I'm going to use that to make sure I'm exactly straight. There we go. So that's going to go there. Right there. And then I'm going to turn this around, and we're going to do the same thing up to here. And it's really important that you make sure that your handle is not twisted, because if it is, then it will end up twisted when you're sewing it. And then this piece just butts up against that. So you can see why this ends up as not adjustable at all. If you wanted to adjust it for your height, now would be the time. You would, if it would be much more difficult to make it larger, you could make it smaller. But I really think, you know, putting D-rings and adding a shoulder strap would be like a fun adjustment. Now, let me know. We've been at this for 50 minutes. I'm I'm thinking that this is a very long project. We can attach this handle. So I'll do one side, I'll show you what to do, and then call it a day, and we'll do the zipper installation next week. And I might actually break this up into 5 sessions, because this is a little bit longer than I anticipated it being. So let me know what your thoughts are. The 3 people who are watching get to vote. That sounds good. I agree with Emily. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start at one side. We're going to sew up until the taller of the 2 marks, and then we're going to sew like a box or a triangle there to reinforce this part, because when you're holding it, that's where the pressure is going to be. And then we're going to sew back down and up the other side. So let me come do that. And you could absolutely, so it looks nicer, mark out where that triangle is going to be sewn. So I'm grabbing a ruler. So, and it doesn't have to be a triangle. You could sew whatever you want. So there's the top. And it's like, it's an inch. So I'm going to do this. They have it as a triangle shape. You could sew an X. All you're doing is just reinforcing this section, because that's your stress point. And I'm going to change my foot back to my standard foot. And if I sewed all of this, I'd run out of fat thread now anyways. So we're gonna call it quits after this bit. And I like to start at this point, because it means that the part that is the least secure of everything is going to get secured. And you use that stitching line from your top stitching as your guide. I guess I could have kept my 1/4 inch foot on here, but I did not. That's okay. I can mostly see what I'm doing, and it mostly looks good. Can you mostly see what I'm doing? I'll try to move my hand out of the way. It's not natural for me to sew in this position. So I'm going to sew up to that. So I'm approaching that point where I want to sew an X. So I'm going to put my needle in the down position. I'm going to take the pin out so I don't poke myself. I'm going to sew across. I think this is why they get you to do a triangle, because it's an easier shape to do. I'm going to pivot so I can sew. Keep hitting all my pins. I'm going to pivot so I can sew the first part of the X. I'm going to sew across the bottom. I'm going to sew the second part of the X. And I'm going to do a second line of stitching across the top. And that's not a terrible thing, because again, as I said, this is really the stress point. And then I'm going to continue all the way down this other side. And do the same thing. And so you do end up sewing like one side of each handle at a time, though the handle is one continuous piece. And of course I need to scooch my pin out of the way here. And I didn't draw an X on this part, and I should have, so I'm actually going to just backstitch a little bit and pull this off the machine. I'll bring this up here. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with me tonight. It was definitely a longer session of a sew. You do have some homework for next week, and like I said, I think we're going to break this up into 5 sessions because it's getting to be a little bit long. What we'll do next week is we will attach the zipper and the end panels, and then the final week we'll take care of doing the binding on the inside. So we'll make that binding, and then you'll have to sew it on. But yes, you can see I've got the start, and what will eventually happen is this is going to sit like, and this is the small version. Like, it's huge. It's still so huge. It's so pretty. It's cute. So yes, it's going to sit like that. That will be where your end panel will go in. I'd say if you want to throw a tag on it at this point, I have a couple that I'm contemplating doing. But yes, if you've got questions on the rewatch, pop them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them this week, and we'll see everybody back here next Thursday.